Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm going to start a new series today on how I became a Mopar enthusiast. So I'm going to start with the early years. So first of all, I've always been a car enthusiast. Pretty much since I could talk, I've been a car enthusiast. I used to name what the cars were going down the road before I could even read. And when I was a kid, my dad used to take me to car shows and the auto show, and I always really enjoyed that. So anyways, I got my driver's license back in 1986. And how I kind of started on my path to become a Mopar enthusiast is my brother-in-law had a 1983 Dodge Charger. They were a two-door with a four-cylinder back at that time, and he had one with a 2.2 liter and a 5-speed, and I rode in it many times and drove it, and I'm like, yeah, this thing is pretty fun. This thing has got some pretty snappy performance. Now, back in the 80s, car performance was quite a bit different than it is today, with a few exceptions. I mean, you did have a few high-performance cars back at that time, but most of the cars, the performance was pretty mediocre by today's standards. So actually, at that time, these little lightweight cars with a 2.2 liter and a 5-speed performed quite well. So anyways, yes, I really enjoyed his car. So my first car was actually a 1981 Plymouth Reliant K car with an automatic, so nothing really to stand out with that. So when I turned 18 years old back in 1988, I decided I wanted to buy a different car. So I was looking for something with a 2.2 liter and a 5-speed. So I ended up buying a 1986 Plymouth Horizon, which I will put a little segment in here with some photos on that. So this is what a Dodge Charger looked like. The Turismo and the Charger were both a similar body style in 1983. Here's some pictures of my Plymouth Horizon. I did a few modifications. I added the raised white letter tires, and there's, yep, me looking in the 80s. And also I put the Hurst T-handle shifter knob. I put the Plymouth sticker, added the chrome valve cover, painted the air cleaner. So yeah, I was really proud of this car at that time. So I was really quite proud of that car back then, and I used to actually, the performance of the small V8s at that time was pretty lackluster. I had a friend with I believe it was a 1983 Camaro Berlinetta with a 305, and I used to be able to beat him with my Plymouth Horizon. And then also I had another friend who had, I want to say it was about an 85 Ford Escort with a turbo, and me and him would pretty much run neck and neck. But it was amazing, some of the cars that I could beat with that little Horizon. So that kind of started cementing into my mind, wow, Mopars, there must be something to these cars. And that was kind of the start of my Mopar journey.